captioner open. Cool. The captioning's not great, but anyway, we're here. Hi. This is just gonna, I don't know how long this is gonna go on for. I want to show off some, Someone on Twitter asked me if I could do a video of doing layout for D36, which is on Kickstarter at the moment. And rather than like film and edit a video, I thought I would just stream it and then just pop a link in an update on Kickstarter later this week. I'm just going to do this, like, I'm just going to do layout on these spreads as I would usually do it. There's a very good chance that I just get focused on it and don't spot the chat, so I'm sorry if that happens. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through. I'm not an expert. If you're an expert on layout and you're watching this stream either live or on VOD later, and you're cringing watching me do things, sorry, I guess. Yeah, so what I'm going to be laying out is that's how to get closed captioning. Is one of the last things I've got to do, which is my Haemomancer, which is a playbook for a game that doesn't exist yet, about a mage. It's a playbook for a mage who does magic with blood. So some content warnings, there's references to blood, self-harm, injury. It gets a bit gross. So yeah, if you're not into that kind of stuff, or you don't want to be exposed to that kind of stuff, I would back away now, basically. Yeah, so I've got no real ideas for what this is going to look like at the moment. The theme of the issue is red. Most of the layouts I've done have been themed around red, and they use a lot of public domain art. So some of the resources I use the public domain review. I've already been through and picked out a few things that look kind of cool, but so to prep for this stream, I had a quick look on fonts in use, which is a resource I use a lot, and I picked out a few things that looked cool. And so I don't actually know, I really like this. I don't know how much of the art and stuff that I've grabbed I'm going to end up using, but we'll see. And I've downloaded a couple of fonts and things as well. I use Typewolf a lot in conjunction with fonts in use, because a lot of the fonts on fonts in use aren't available on Adobe Typekit, which is what I use to get all my fonts from, but Typewolf will show you the closest match for a font on Typekit, so I use that quite a lot. I really like this font. I really like this spread specifically, but that font is on Behance and I can't download it, so I don't know. But yeah, so D36. It's also quite late at night here, so I might just ramble nonsense. But anyway, let's get into it. D36. So I work between Photoshop and InDesign. You can see some of the stuff for D36 here. The way I tend to work is I jump back and forth, so I will like make a background in Photoshop, I'll drag it into InDesign, and I'll start laying things out over it, and then I'll want to tweak stuff and I'll jump back to it. So there's going to be a lot of hopping back and forth between Photoshop and InDesign because of the way I'm laying this out. Like every spread, every page is its own thing. So I'm not really using paragraph styles and font styles and things. So yeah, if you're into layout, if you do layout, the way I work doing this is gonna seem awful and messy, and it is, and that's fine. Thankfully, we've got Ubi on board, who is going to go through and they're going to make it screen reader accessible, because the way I'm working to make these, it's not screen reader accessible. Hey, Thomas, how are you? So, thoughts. Literally, I've got nothing at the moment for this. So what I'm thinking is, I looked like, this is really plain, but I really like the idea of having this page split because it's a playbook. Hey, Dungeons on Dimes here as well. Thanks for joining. Yeah, because it's a playbook. It's not quite as text heavy as some of the other spreads that I've been doing. So what I'm thinking, and I want to break it up a little bit, like you can see on some spreads I've gone away from the red just to make it a bit less. Oh my god, where has it gone? I do this all the time. I've lost it. How do I find that? I zoomed right in somehow. It's a lot of red because the theme is red. So I'm trying to break it up a bit, and I think I'm going to break it up a little more here with some like horizontal layout. So looking at things like this, I'm really enjoying this cut out weird textured thing that's going on the front of the psychopath test. So I might do something like that. Just make it quite a sparse layout for this one because again, it's not very text heavy. I'm going to try and keep this to a 2-page spread. What's my word count on this? 566. Okay, gonna get this on 2 pages. We'll see. Most of the stuff in this zine is 4 pages. With this being a playbook, I would like to do it on 2. But we'll see how we get on. So, it's really weird talking through the decisions I'm making because this would all just usually happen in my head. So what I'm thinking is split it horizontally and I might flip the colours. Like if we do top red, bottom black, and then flip it here, and I might do some. I really like this. I really like that quite a lot. So, sort of regretting doing this live on the internet now because a lot of this is me sitting around going, Let's put some guides in place. I've already got this set up with the bleeds, like size-wise, this is sized with a 3mm bleed. Right, what am I thinking? I should have probably planned this a little before I just jumped straight into it. I really like this. Like, the texture is cool. The way it shows through the text is cool. So maybe I steal something like that in addition to this, right? God, really showing how the sausage is made here. It's going to be embarrassing. Like when I immediately start by using the wrong tool. I've put myself under pressure. Always jump right in. Yeah, so right. That's the wrong marquee tool. Again, it is nearly midnight here. I've had a long day. I'm gonna try and be kind to myself. things always look immediately better when you start dropping some textures in. So one of the textures that I've been using a lot on a lot of these backgrounds, this comes from Public Domain Review, and these are decayed daguerreotypes. So these are a lot of the pieces of art that I've picked for this. I don't think there was anybody here when I started the stream, so I'm just going to reiterate this again. The playbook that I'm doing layout for is a Haemomancer. It's a blood mage. It's got themes of self-harm and kind of bloodletting and things like that. And I'm going to use some potentially use some graphic images. I've been looking through public domain like medical imagery and stuff like that, and there's some of that in D36 itself. So just fair warning, like you might not want to watch stuff. Anyway, for texture, I've been using a lot of these decayed daguerreotypes. I don't know how you say that word. These are from Public Domain Review, and I've just been like dropping them in and playing with blending modes of them. This was one of the things that people were asking me a lot on Twitter about, like, it's all well and good saying, yeah, I use public domain imagery, but one of the hard things I think for a lot of people is like, how do you make use of that imagery? And so I just wanted to show some of that. Again, this might be slow because I am literally figuring it out as I go. That's a cool texture. And again, I'm not an expert at all. I think maybe that needs to not... Ooh. Does that say blood to you? Just group them and maybe blend them over the top of it. That's cool, I like that. That immediately starts saying blood to me. A little bit. Public domain imagery is a tool, you've got to still use it and know how to use it to get results beside. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I like that. That's cool, that's fun. So one of the things that I'm conscious of when I'm doing this stuff, especially with these decayed kind of textures, is that going from dark to light makes it hard for the text to show up when you drop back into layout. But we can deal with that. There's ways around that. That's kind of cool. That's nice and textured. Just have a look at our layout examples. I will figure out a way to incorporate this kind of cutout into the design. It's just, you know, when you can feel your brain spinning something. Anyway, right, so a tool that I use a lot, and I've just forgotten who makes this. I cannot remember who makes this tool that I'm using. TGTS, what does that stand for? It'll come to me anyway. This is basically a texturizer. Which just adds, I don't know how well this is going to come across over the stream, but it just adds some really nice grit and texture to things. There's lots of different True Grit Texture Supply. Thank you. Yeah, this is the Rotting Pulp texture. I've used the Vellum one in D36. I've used the End Papers one. It's really cool and really simple to use. You've got control over how much of the texture shows through. You got control over the highlights. 15 to 20% is generally pretty good. And that will also balance out some of that contrast between light and dark as well. So that is going to go in here. We're going to export it as PNG because if you drop, so you can drop a PSD file into InDesign, no problem. And that makes it very easy to work with them because any changes you make in the PSD file will automatically show up in InDesign. But it makes the final PDF size pretty big. That folder structure. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes I'm very organised with my folders. Sometimes I am not at all organised with my folders because I have ADHD. I've tried to keep this one particularly organised, especially as it's in my OneDrive. So because I'm working across both my laptop and my PC, which I'm on at the moment. So, fit content to frame. The quality of the preview in InDesign is always trash. It always will be. But it is what it is, you know. I don't know. I have nothing more to say about this. Well, thank you, Snackswell. I'm glad I got something right. The rest of my hard drive, I deliberately made sure that I was already in those folders on Photoshop before I went live because if you saw the rest of my file structure, you would not be impressed. Anyway, so let's start putting some text in. Again, because of the way I'm doing these spreads and things, there's like paragraph styles and stuff. Control Alt H gives a high quality rendering. See, today we've learnt something. This might crash my computer now. I've never done this before. Should have saved before I did that. Does it just output it somewhere? Probably. Anyway, let's move on. Let's do the thing that we're here to do, eh? So, yeah, because of the way I work, it's going to be a mess. We're going to work mostly in just me putting text in and then fucking around with it, making character styles and not really bothering with paragraph styles necessarily, just because of the nature of the project. If I was doing a bigger book that wasn't like, because like every spread is like its own individual artwork, so they all call for different things. So paragraph styles aren't hugely useful. So yeah, if you do layout, this might hurt to watch. Just fair warning. Anyway, I've been through fonts in use and I've picked out a few fonts that we can maybe make use of. I wish I'd written them down before I started doing this. ITC Galliard was one of them. Yeah. So let's just drop the title in. Give me my text tool back in InDesign. Did you know that the entire ITC series was found in a river by a diver? I did not know that. Is that true? That's amazing if that's true. I mean, I don't doubt that that's true. I didn't know that, and I'm really happy you told me that. Do you know what? I want that to have the texture from underneath. So thinking about it. Right. There were medieval blocks preserved in the mud. That's incredible. Photoshop is having a think. But yeah, I want the font to I want the header especially to have some of the texture. Do I like that font? I'm not sure if I do like that font. Maybe I prefer Canto Brush. Might use the ITC for the body text. And what about small caps? Small caps is nice. Yeah, I think I like that. Good thing is, we'll just export it as a PNG again, exact same file type, so then it'll just update itself in InDesign and we don't have to drop it back in. It's not often a good idea to include text, like flat text, in the image, because you want it to be searchable. But I'll speak to Ubi about what we can do about that. It might just be a case of putting the text over that and making it like opacity 0 so that you can't actually see it, but it is searchable. But I'll speak to Ubi about that when we do the accessibility stuff. But for now, we need... This might be where we set up a quick basic body paragraph style. And I think we'll use the ITC Galliard because it is nice. And we'll probably make the basic one white, and in fact we'll even call it body white. I wouldn't usually be this organised with the paragraph styles for this project specifically, but as I've got people watching, you know how it is. Go away, CC Libraries window, I don't want you. So, playbook for a game that doesn't exist. I might just say a playbook actually. But yeah, this is a playbook for a game that doesn't exist. We also want to put a content warning on here. There's going to be a content warning for the zine in general, like at the beginning, but like for some specific stuff, like don't crash, please don't crash. It's because I'm saving to my my OneDrive. It just hangs a little bit. For example, like Sam's Meat Box has got a body horror self-harm content warning, and I'm going to stick one here as well. Warning. I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it rather than just saying content warning. Contains blood. But I think probably it should just be content warning. A lot of just placing things like by eye, doing this, and just figuring out where it looks good. Yeah. So, do want to get that in there somehow. Maybe we put the basic moves in a circle like that on this second page when we come to do it. Like I said, I want to try and keep this to just a 2-page spread if possible. So, let's put some text in. I think there's going to be a lot of changing my mind and moving things around as I make this, just so that you are aware. How's that look? That actually shows up quite nicely in white there. So we can put some text here. I always forget to set. Right. Now that we've got some actual text in, we can start playing with what this style looks like. So we're in ITC Galliard Pro. I'm going to set it down to 10 points. I will bump the playbook one back up to 12 point in a minute. I like justified text unless there's a reason not to. It's just a personal preference. And I tend to, by default, change the word scaling and the glyph scaling to 95:105 and 97:103, and then go back to it if I need to. And I always turn hyphenation off because I hate hyphenation. Literally just personal preference. Right. What I'm going to do is, how wide do I want this? Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do each sentence as its own text box. So the justification doesn't actually matter here, which is why I was saying I don't really... Hyphenation is the devil's spawn. I don't really bother with paragraph styles for this specific project because I do a lot of this. And so, like, especially when it comes to things like justification, I don't need it because I end up placing it all by hand anyway. But you'll see what I'm going to do in a minute. Let's just get all these in the text box. And there probably is a more efficient way to do this, but I don't know because I'm not an expert. I just need to make sure I keep them in order before I start placing them. UB has definitely got their work cut out for them with this. And I'm very glad I am paying them to do this, to do the accessibility stuff for me, because I just don't think I'm capable, basically. Okay, so let's start placing some stuff, and then we'll start playing with like word weights and stuff. So this is our description of what the Haemomancer actually is. Scars, scabs and blackened flesh. Nails ripped off, replaced with gems, metal, razor blades. Teeth filed to points. Black exposed veins. Twisting tattoos, a map of the circulatory system coated in weak, easy peel flesh. Weak, easy peel flesh is one of my favourite sentences I have ever written. I'm really happy with it. I had a big grin on my face when I wrote that. Right, this last line is going to be bigger. I'm going to do my best to keep an eye on chat, but I'm sorry if I don't. Blood is life, and life is power. There's no real, like, rhyme or reason to... I don't like that in italics. One thing I really like doing is just bumping up the font size of a word mid-sentence. There's no semi-bold, which is a shame. But never mind. You can do a lot playing with font sizes and weights. I like that, and that looks really cool. Just hit save, so give it a second. You need to be 12, maybe even 13. Yes. Okay, next. I think we can fit all this on that other page. I think what I need to do is design this next page and then figure out where I'm going to place stuff. So we'll hop back into Photoshop. I've even been naming files properly with this one, which is so rare. The auto captioner thinks I said so right. I didn't. I said so rare. There we go. They don't like British accents, these captioners. I don't want a straight line right across the middle of the page. Who does that? It's because I'm dealing with like 10 different pieces by 10 different people. And so I just had to make sure I kept it all straight and like knew where everything was. I promise you, I'm not usually this organised. Right, I need to decide, do I put like a nice vertical strip like this with some weird textures in, which does tie in with, like, it would very nicely mirror. Come on. Oh yeah, it's downloading all the different spreads as I scroll up. Nothing should be all straight, that is absolutely true. Come on. Come on, InDesign. This is my own fault for working from projects that are files that are saved on OneDrive. But it means you get a nice preview of the project. Come on. You can do it. Little internet connection that could. If this thing crashes, I'm going to be so upset. Oh no. There we go. The front cover's got a line down it. That's the only reason I scrolled up. So putting a vertical line might be a nice little mirror of what's going on the cover. Come on, InDesign. I promise I won't make you do that again. So that could be cool, to do a vertical stripe down this. But I do like... Where has it gone? I love this. I really like that. I could even put a heart in it. There's nothing stopping me doing both. Having said that, nothing stopping me doing both. Let's see what it looks like if I do both. Let's just fill you in black for the time being. Wrong. Oh, okay. What if... that... Do I love that? Do I hate that? What happens if we drop some art over it? Because I've got this cool piece of art, right? Again, this is from Public Domain Review. I haven't got my tablet plugged in, so I'm just going to have to do this by hand. I love the quick select tool in Photoshop. It is absolute magic, especially when you've got nice thick outlines like this for it to work with. Sometimes if you select too much, it gets a bit ahead of itself, but really get a lot of use out of the quick select tool. Nope. Nope. Behave yourself, quick select. Come on. That's actually not going to matter all that much. The great thing about working with all these textures and things is that you can afford to be imperfect, because I'm just going to grunge it up and distress it anyway. I am a bit of a perfectionist, so it is hard to convince myself of that sometimes, but you learn to embrace it. Stop it. No, stop it. These are all the conversations I have in my head usually. Stop selecting the bits I don't want you to select. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, I probably can just erase that and get the full, still get the same effect. I don't actually know if I need that circle in it now, because what I can do instead sometimes you can get a really good effect just by playing with the blending styles. Doesn't always work. Like sometimes it will just look trash, like this is looking a bit shit. Smooth that out a little bit. What if I put you under? I think this will look better. If the heart is, if that circle is all one colour. Okay. Have I got it installed on here? No. I've got the True Grit zine machine thing as well, but it's just on my laptop. I realise I've already scrolled through these blending styles and decided I didn't like any of them. It's a very, very cool illustration. And I just can't figure out how to make it work, unfortunately. I realise that all I've done is played with blending styles. Oh. Do I like it really subtle? Not sure I do. Some people would like look at a list of blending styles and know exactly what effect they're going to get just by, dint of experience, and I am not some people, unfortunately. What if I invert you and do the same thing? It's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I'm not sure how obviously it is a heart, but it's kind of cool. I don't hate that. I kind of like that. Yeah. One day I'll learn. There we are. That's more like what I was looking for with that. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. Okay. I'm much happier with that now. I still would like to get a vertical like line in here, but I think I'm pretty happy with that for the time being. So let's get rid of you, get rid of you. Yeah, that's very cool. One thing I have not done is change this texture. That same stripe down the side looks weird. Let's try you. Hmm. Nope. Let's try a different one. We can always go back to that same one that we used before. I've used this one in a lot of spreads. I do like this one quite a lot. But that first one felt sort of organic, which I liked. This one looks fun. Oh, hello. Yes, I like you. Big fan of that one. Yeah, that's cool. That's gross looking. Yeah, I like that. It's weird seeing my own surname in a file name. Okay. That looks pretty cool. Did I? I didn't extend the frame all the way to the edge of the bleed. Harumph. Fit content to frame. I like that. That's cool. Sorry, I'm just taking a second to figure out how happy I am with that. Yeah, okay, so let's start thinking about where text is going to go on this, right? We've got, so we've put the description in. We've got a play to find out, which to be fair, can go on that first page if need be. Just choose a name, choose a look. Basically, you've got all the like character creation stuff, and then you've got the moves and the advancement. I think I'd like to put the character creation stuff here and maybe on that first page, and then things you can always do in the middle here: weak moves, strong moves, and then the advancement underneath, and I think we're good. That circle's not quite centered, and that's going to bug me. So some people can work with a grid on, and I'm not one of those people. It distracts me too much. It's still not quite centered, but I think it's better. Yeah, that's better. Like, still not perfectly in the center, but I can deal with it. So I do like the idea of leaving that top half blank. You keep your grid on a specific layer so you can turn it off and on. Yeah, like I've got... I just can never... I never bother with the Photoshop grid, and I don't ever have the time. Well, I have the time. I don't have the inclination to set up a working grid for layout. On bigger books, I do. I set them up on the master pages, and then I turn them off when I'm done. As you will see, I don't really bother with layers in InDesign because I'm a hack. So I think play to find out probably goes on this page as well. I think maybe the content warning needs to go up here. And play to find out goes down here. And then we put all the actual character creation and mechanics on this side. So let's just drop play to find out in here. Again, forgot to set it to small caps. And I think we'll give this bullets and numbering. Bullets, we use whatever they're called. Go away, CC libraries. Don't want you. Indents and bullets and numbering. Hang on. We do not need a 12.7mm tab. No one's ever needed that in the history of tabs. And I think we'll drop you. That first sentence is very long. One thing I always struggle with, again because I'm sort of making it up as I go along, is I always want, when a bullet point has like tabbed onto the next line down, I always want the left hand sides to line up, and so I end up brute forcing it like that. In fact, that's worked quite nicely there. I like symmetry, or I like to get as close to symmetry as possible sometimes. I want to rotate that bit more that way. Maybe not quite that far that way. Well, that's just straightened up again, hasn't it, Chris? Cool. So now we can jump over to this side. I think again this is going to be one of those things where it's like each line is its own text box. So give them the bullet points again. And like, to be honest now, the bulk of the decisions I need to make for this spread are basically done, and it's just a matter of placing text now. This has been quite a straightforward one, actually. Some of them have really banged my head against quite a lot to get them to work. Liz's "The Streets Run Red" was a tough one to get right. Not Liz, I'm sorry, Law. They changed the name recently. I need to internalise that. If you're watching Law, I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. My screen went off then. I shit myself for a second then. Control S quickly. I don't think that actually saved. Oh, it must have done. Okay. So again, like we did on the other page, just playing with line weights, text weights and things. Oh, Thomas, thank you for the follow, by the way. I didn't hear the alert for that. I've just spotted it, so thank you. Okay, I don't want these to go on to the red, so let's move everything. That's the problem when you stack up text boxes like this as well, is they get hard to select. Another top tip. Don't be like me. Make life easy for yourself. Do normal layout. Control click lets you select an object underneath another one. I didn't know that. It's one of the real stumbling blocks with Adobe for me is that the shortcuts in every program, they use the same shortcuts to do different things, which is makes it hard to remember them all. Excuse me. Oh, big yawn. That blaze is just slightly too close. What I might do is style options. Not letting, it's the tracking that I want. Change the tracking on them and make them all a little closer together. But not too much. Literally all these programs I stumbled across when my dyslexic brain fucked up a different one. Yeah, fair. Okay, we've got the name in place. Choose a look. This is one of the things that Yubi's going to hate me for because I copy and paste things quite a lot, and I think that does very irritating things to the Control and Enter brings up quick apply, which lets you type search for a paragraph or character style. Yeah, I actually often find it quicker to just go and select it. I only just found out the other day that you can reorder your character styles. You can apply it in the text without needing to go back and forth. Yeah, I just said, you know, when you've kind of internalized the process quite a lot, and so you just get used to doing it a certain way, and it's sometimes quicker to do it the less efficient way, even though you know the other way is technically better. It's one of those things for me. Yeah. Yeah, and like I don't know what it is. I do a lot of thinking when I'm like just clicking in between things when I'm wasting time doing things that I could actually speed up quite easily. Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. My brain works in weird ways. That's annoying. That's very annoying. They line up so perfectly apart from that glistening. Let's swap glistening and perfect. Ooh, that's quite nice. I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna swap Hungry Eyes. If you've got that song stuck in your head, just know that I was singing it the entire time that I was writing this. These are deliberately not in alphabetical order as well. Hungry Eyes. I did not say that, no. I would never say that, in fact. And I think you know that. I think you know that. 2 that you are and 2 that you used to be. Is this all bold at the moment? Yes, it is. So let's make that black instead of bold. 2 that you are. Very out of character. I blocked somebody on Twitter not long ago because they would not stop quoting ABBA at me, and I have no regrets about that. Just enforcing healthy boundaries there. So that is kind of hard to read over that green. And on other spreads, I've put backgrounds, like a highlight behind the words. But with this one, I don't want to just because I haven't done it anywhere else. So luckily, these are all single words. So I've got... Yeah, I tweeted about fucking hating ABBA and them being on the radio. And I guess he thought we were better friends than we are. You know, when people pop into your replies to do the thing you've explicitly said annoys you and you don't want to hear about. Yeah. So I was just like, you know what, actually, you can... I was in a very bad mood and I've made that very clear. That I was in a very bad mood and he decided that he was going to... He decided we were good enough friends that didn't matter, and I think I'd only spoken to him twice. And so he went in the bin. Straight to jail, do not pass go. I think I can give these a little bit more breathing room, actually, these words, because there's 8 of them and I've got this big old space to fill. I'm a big fan of the No Dice, No Masters kind of style of character creation. I realise that I can be it could be hard to know where you stand with me on Twitter, because Sometimes I'm in a mood for a joke and I can take a joke, and some days I'm very humorless. And even I don't know when that's what mood I'm in until it happens, unfortunately. So I try and be mindful of that. But some days you just need to block someone. Virile can go that way. Yeah, quite happy with that. How did you discover the magic of blood? We are running out of space a little. Maybe how did you discover the magic of blood needs to go in here. Oops. I don't know how to do curved text in InDesign. InDesign, text on a curve. I mean, if I'm showing off my process. Oh, you literally just create a path with the pencil, exactly the same as Photoshop. Cool, got it. Cool, 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 cool. And I assume the pen tool works like in Photoshop. Yeah. Should maybe have read that. No object style. There we go. And I guess I can just tab it around. Yeah. Can't tell if that's good or shit. I think it's shit. And like, it's fine for it to be shit because that's how these things work. I think if I'm looking at it and asking myself if it's shit, then it's shit, you know? How much more have I got to fit in here? How did you discover the magic of blood? Ask questions to 2 other players, and then I've got the moves and advancement to put in. Is this going to get too cramped? I can't think because I've got hungry eyes stuck in my head. Like, I really like this blank space here, and I don't want to have to use it. But I don't want this other page to be too cramped. wish I could tell you what I'm thinking right now, but I don't. There's not like a thought process happening consciously. I don't want to go on to another spread with it, but I might have to. How many pages are we at? Okay, hang on, let's see. I've still got to do Jess's game, which I think is going to be 4 pages, maybe 6. And I need to do Alex Caron's story, which I think 4 pages for that. It's about 800 words. I mean, I got Clippinger's thing onto, like, that's pretty cool. And Alex's story is not much longer than that, but I think 4 pages for that. And then there's Sin's, which Sin is, I think, doing the artwork for that themselves. Well, they're doing the artwork. I don't know if they're doing the layout for that themselves or not. I still haven't seen that. This page here, in the limited edition copy, this is going to be a fold-out flap. I'm going to print this on separately, and I'm going to glue them in. And then in the soft cover zine, I'm going to put something on this page that I haven't decided yet. So I'm just thinking about page counts. We're up to 27 plus back cover and inside back cover, which aren't on here, so that takes 29. It's got to be a multiple of 4. So with Jess's, which is another 4, that takes us to 33. I'll call that 34 to make it an even number. With Alex's, that's 38. And then I guess Sin's probably be another 4, which is 42. Which is not divisible by 4. So it'll be 44. So I can actually add, I could add another page, another spread in to make this fit and give it some space, and would still come in at about 44 pages, I think. So maybe I need to do that. I would have really liked to get this onto a 2-page spread. But I'm really happy with that page. I don't want to fuck it up. But it means I can probably get my vertical stripe in. So that makes me happy. So that's good. Yeah, cool. Alright, yeah, decision made. We're going to do another spread. That's no good. you legible? I think you're legible. I will have a great time. Thank you for popping in. I will speak to you soon, I'm sure. Have a good night, mate. The only reason I've gone so quiet, well, partly because it's 1 in the morning. But I literally just like, I can feel hyper focus trying to set in. And I'm partially encouraging it because are you legible is quote of the day. I'm partially encouraging my brain to be like, yes, fucking hyper focus on this, let's get this shit done. But also I know that like I will just go quiet and it won't be particularly interesting to watch. Well, I mean, obviously you might find silent layout interesting. You know what I'm trying to say. It's that whole streaming thing of being afraid of dead air. So now that we're going on to the other spread, I'm not too worried about the heart, like text going onto the heart, which is cool. Gives me a little bit more space to play with. Cool. Just thinking maybe I should do layout design streams, and then instantly realised that means I would have to get better at narrate. It's so hard. Like, I don't fully know what my process is. It's, yeah, not easy. Yeah, yeah. There was probably an end to that sentence. Having that old can't click again. I need to give them a little more breathing room, I think. He says, and like there's that whole thing of like I look at d36 and I think like this is really cool. Maybe I'm not bad at this whole layout thing, but the idea, I mean, obviously I'm doing it, so it wasn't overly terrifying, but the thought of sitting, I was very nervous about sitting doing the stream because I don't want to set myself up as like people think I think I'm an expert or anything, because I'm not. Yeah, I very nearly just recorded this to throw it onto YouTube later, but I figure if I'm going to sit in front of a camera and do it, I might as well do it on stream, right? The other thing I nearly did was just did it without being on camera so that I could then just speed the footage up. But I think this is like, if I want it to be, if I'm telling myself I want it to be useful for people, then I should make it useful at least. You know, I should fucking talk through it, right? I don't know. I'm kind of forgetting doing that thing of just rambling for the sake of rambling now and not really having a point. I'm glad you're finding it useful or interesting, educational. Yeah, that's all I wanted, honestly. So yeah, I'm glad. And we did end up using paragraph styles in the end, which doesn't always happen with this project. Do you know, I only finished writing this today as well. But I'm quite happy with it. And I'm just trying to keep an eye out for, you know, because it's not very text heavy, so I'm trying to keep an eye out for typos and like any editing notes as I do the layout, which isn't the best way to work, let's be honest. But because I'm not writing the whole zine, I am editing it, mainly to keep the budget low or lower. If I was writing the whole thing, I would pay an editor for sure. But I'm not, so I think it's fine that I edit it. But it does mean editing myself for this one piece. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on the text as it goes into InDesign so I can clean up anything that needs cleaning up. There's probably a keyboard shortcut to increase the font size by one. Oh shit. But I don't know what it is, if there is. I think I'm going to go with bold in these though, rather than font sizes. Right, cool. So we're going to do another 2-page spread. And I guess that means I have to think about what that's going to look like. I like the divided pages. What's the content going to be? Remind myself. So it's the moves and advancement. It probably only needs to be 1 page, to be honest. But obviously we're working in spreads. But so basically everything on those first 2 pages is character creation, and everything on these next 2 pages is going to be what you would use if you were playing. So, okay, cool. What I think we'll do then is, let's not use that as a basis. Let's use this one as the basis. I think I know what I'll do. I'll give myself my vertical stripe, right? Let me just get the hex code for that. Wrong. do we put a completely different texture under that? Like some actual microscopic blood, for example. Like if we get these out of that group so they're not blending through to the texture just yet. Again, back to playing with, oh, that's cool. Yeah, like, it's not often that I will say, oh yeah, that's really cool, but I'm really fucking pleased with how that turned out, I'll tell you that. Let's see what happens if we drop another one of these daguerreotype textures underneath it. Which one looks likely? Sort of a more gentle one. Let's drop you under there. Mask that out, and then let's play with some blending styles on this as well. That's cool. Just to give it a little bit of added grain. And I'm going to soften up the... Oh, no. Well, that's cool. I'm going to soften up the border on it as well. I think I like it at lighten. Okay. What brush should I use to do the border? I've got a really good one for this on my laptop, but I don't have it on here. It's a nice big fat, like, grungy edge brush thing. That could work. So you're not a big long flat brush. Like that is a hard border, but that just looks a little weird. Nope. Okay, what if, like, I could do like I did on the cover. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, cool. So, duplicate you. Yeah, just put a couple of little blue stripes down it, and I think that will help quite a lot. Which is what I did on the cover as well. I really love the like photo negative effect. Why do you... Oh, that's why. Like, this is looking real messy at the minute, but it will fix itself. In just a second. That's cool, I like that. I think anyway. Yeah, I think I like that. What happens if I put some red over the top? Yeah, there it is. That's the one. This texture, this background needs to just be ever so slightly different, just so it's not the same as the first page. Maybe even place another one over it. That's kind of cool. How does that work with... That's a little bit too much of the teal colour. That's better. Oh, that's fucking cool. I like that a lot. I think I'm going to use this on one of my pages. Right, I don't want you to move. So, I think we've only got one page worth of content here. So I think this page needs to just be like just visual, just like a splash page, and we'll put the actual content on this one. So I think this, because it's got that divider down the middle, maybe not. Maybe this is just the statement, like splash page. Oh, that's so tough. It's so hard to know what to do. Maybe the answer is to... I don't really need that open anymore. These are all other example spreads I was looking at on fonts in use. Maybe we make the next spread as well and then decide which one's going to look best with the text on it. I'm just not sure what to make it look like. So I do this quite a lot, whereas I get so far through it and just like have another browse for some inspiration and stuff. Like, this website is so useful. Just in terms of looking at things and going, oh, that's cool. Like, so Matt's... I'll show you while I'm thinking about this. I saw that page and was like, oh, fuck, I love that. And it's just in Minion. Like, it uses Minion and one of the grotesque fonts. Sharp Grotesque. I was like, that's fucking rad. And so when I came to do Matt's Soil the Colour of Blood, that was a direct influence on this spread, which you can see, like, directly influenced it. So yeah, I get a lot of mileage. Oh shit, look at that. Yeah, I got a lot of mileage out of this site. Excuse me, big yawn. Okay, maybe. Right, just glancing at that helped. Maybe this left page has just this on it, the lure. When someone offers their blood or life force to aid you in their endeavours, your endeavours, they gain a token. And we put that on a big, where am I? Big statement page. I've just seen something that inspired that and now it's gone. Excuse me, like this. Can I get silver display? Like, yeah, we could grab like a marble paper texture and whack that over some textures and make some really fucked up stuff going on with it. What font did we say this was? Silver display. So are you on Typekit? No. So let's see if there is something similar on Typekit we can use. Silver display isn't even on Type Wolf. That's irritating. Oh, I think I've got something like New House. Where is... It's new transport that I'm looking for, not silver display. Okay, cool. Probably not on Adobe, no. Type Wolf, new transport. Transport, closest match on Adobe fonts, interstate. Let's have a quick look. That is cool. Something like this is going to be rad. Let's grab interstate black. Oh, maybe interstate compressed black as well. Yeah. Now sometimes these will show up straight away, and sometimes they won't. Let's have a look and see what's happened. Showing up in Photoshop at least. That's cool. So let's see if we can find. I mean, public domain review might have some. Old paper? I specifically want marbled paper. I have got some marbled paper textures. You know, when we were talking about my file structure earlier, my file structure is terrible on the rest of my PC, and I don't know where the marble paper textures are. I'm just going to look through on a different screen and see if I can find them. I found Halftone Zine Machine anyway. What did I use the marbled paper texture for? It was for... Could also be oil and water, yeah. Absolutely. I used them for my Troika book. What's the chances that they're saved in that fan? Fucking tastic. Yes. Bam. There are some marble paper textures. Thanks, past me. Just quickly drop them into the folder that we're using. Sweet as a nut. Okay. So, that's that page done. Here's one I made earlier. Now at the minute that looks pretty shit, but this is where these daguerreotypes come in really handy. that's cool. I kind of like that quite a lot. I don't know how good it looks. I don't know how well that would sit next to these. One option is also to desaturate that marbling, so we get the pattern and the shades of grey, the tones, but not the colours. So let's try that as well. I've just realised that flux is on, which isn't going to help me picking colours. I've got very lucky there because I've been seeing this all through like a sepia tone the entire time. I don't know if it's been broadcasting like that or what. I think it probably has. But that still looks pretty cool, I think. God, I didn't even realise that flux was on. Christ. Okay. Like, that's weird. I just don't know if I actually... I like it, but I don't know if I like it for this. It's going to sit next to that. Yeah, I'm not sure, actually. That's kind of cool. What font did I say? What font did I just grab from Typekit? Should have written it down. Transport. Was it not transport? Interstate. Christ. I think it's getting there. This is a heart. which is not a very nice thing to look at. That's getting closer now. Okay, let me just double check what happens if... Is that the heart? I've forgotten which layer the heart is. This is why you name your layers, kids. Right, let me just rename. No. Heart. Let's just invert that image. And then do the overlay stuff. You know when something is like approaching something that you're happy with and it's not quite there? Like that's pretty cool. You can't see that it's a heart. I think that's pretty cool. What happens if I start like... This must be very dull to watch, I'm sorry. You can almost see the organicness of it there. Suddenly blue. Right, no, I think... What's annoying now is I can't remember where it was when I was happy with it. May have fucked it. Yeah, just gone. And that happens sometimes. Yeah, I can't get it back, that's still quite cool. It's not immediately, ooh. And again, we just keep checking back to like what it's going to sit next to. I think I like that. It's not at all like where we were, but I think I quite like that. Is there anything I can do to make it slightly more explicitly like? Back to the like very old medieval imagery here. And this may not work. But if it does work, I'll be very happy. Just leave it like that. Yeah, look, here's my layout, everyone. Isn't this great? Like, I think I'm in danger of overthinking it a little here. Like, what does this look like when I drop it into here? Looks pretty cool. Possibly something. No, I think just leave that like that. Maybe make it a little bigger actually. I like that. It's like it's nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. There's no artwork there, but I think it gets a feeling across. I may look at it tomorrow and hate it, but that's okay. I've just saved over something that I shouldn't have saved over, I believe. Oh no, I haven't. That's good. Whew. view. Not that it would have been hard to remake that, luckily. This is why I work across multiple files and things, just for a little fail-safe when I inevitably save over something. So, it's actually page 4, but it's going in page 3. Fit content to frame. So we're going to make that basic paragraph. We can tweak it this way. Go away. Low. Okay. I think we're going to do it the same font. Stay black. We're going to make it white. We're going to turn hyphenation off. It's going to be full justified. I always forget what our justification options are. Just playing. Sorry, I've gone completely quiet on you. I'm just trying to make this paragraph work. I think that does work, to be honest. Do I want to make that all caps? No, I don't think I do. Cool. Nearly done now. Did I not export a PNG? I did not export a PNG. There we go. Bam. So, strong moves, weak moves, things you can always do, and advancement. Where to put them? As my idea, like, we split the page down the middle. My idea was to go strong moves, weak moves. But I think we just do them in 2 columns. Strong moves, weak moves, things you can always do, advancement. Yeah, that works. That's the wrong one. It should be a text box. We want low, strong moves. Probably want to be a bit bigger. Is that right? Spend a token. And yeah, we've done it throughout the entire spread, so we'll do it on this as well, where we give them all their own box. Dealing with that issue I mentioned earlier where the background is a little bit too light. So, like, if you look on other spreads, I've shaded the backgrounds. I kind of don't want to on this one, because I haven't done yet. So what I might do is pop back into here and darken it up a little bit, especially if we play with the exposure settings, just dim it down a bit. Maybe play with the curves if I have to, just to make that white text pop a little bit. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be a curves adjustment on this. Maybe levels. Let's try curves. No, I think we're going to go with levels. Let's try that. There we go. That's, I mean, it's still not perfect, but we can position it a bit better now. weak moves. I always find when I get to a point where I'm like, oh, there's an end in sight now, I start rushing a little bit to finish, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm also realised that I'm not actually speaking into the microphone. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Things you can always do. Come on, line up. Let me embiggen you, please. Thank you. That should have an S on it for starters. Yeah, that's better. It's a pretty gross playbook, really. And I knew that when I was writing it, but like reading it again now, I'm like, this is pretty grim. It is 2 AM. I'm nearly done. Okay. Need to do the XP track. How are we going to do that? trying something here. That's quite a nice font for that, actually. I wish it was mono. I wish it was mono-spaced. What do we put for the, like, needs to be visual. I almost want to make it needles, but I'm not about to go looking for needles. For starters, I don't like that vertically like that. Okay. We're going to make you like that. We're going to go back to body. You do not want to be caps lock. Oh, that's going up. That's the wrong way. That's not the way I wanted to go. Oh, I know. Teardrop icon. Because it looks like a blood drop icon. I could make one, but I wonder if there's anything on, like, this is a silly thing to search public domain for. Like, so the XP track is going to be 5 icons that you fill in. And one of the things you can always do is weep. And the teardrop looks sort of like a blood drop. So I feel like that's quite a cool thing to do. Free teardrop icon. What's the noun project? Like, that works. I'm not about to sign up, but it's Creative Commons and it's just a black shape. Like, I can just fucking do that. Like, file new, clipboard. Like, it says it's Creative Commons. I don't really need to. Excuse me, I don't really need to make an account just to download that vector. It's CCBY, which is by attribution, I think. Yeah, so I'll just have to make sure I put noun project in the credits page, and that'll be fine. I don't want it to be that big at all, but we'll resize it in a second. I can never remember the shortcut for fitting, but there we go. That works. I like that. Just move them away from that a little bit. Yeah, that works. And then we're very nearly done. I'm really happy with these advancement things as well, especially as there's no actual system in place for this playbook. I got a jet, but this has been rad. Thanks for sharing your process. No problem. Thank you for joining me. I'm done now anyway. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. This has been really fun, and I appreciate having someone to chat to while I was doing it. So thank you. Have a good one. Let's make that a little bit bigger. You can sense magic lingering in the blood. We'll make that bigger as well. And then patches of your skin gets bigger. And we'll bold the word pieces because it's a good word. Shit, I am quite happy with that. Quite pleased. Cool. So that is the Haemomancer for d36. That is how I go about doing layout. I'm not an expert, like I said. I ain't a lawyer, but I know a little bit. And yeah, D36 is on Kickstarter at the moment. This is from issue 1. We have unlocked issue 2, which was a stretch goal. We're heading towards issue 3. It is a zine of weird RPG stuff like this. Yeah, it's late. I'm not doing a very good job of selling it, and that's fine, to be honest. I don't mind. There's a short link for it, and I can't remember what it is. Oh, excuse me. This has been a late one for me. Let's just, let's do this properly. D36, it's on Kickstarter. We've gained a backer while I've been doing this. That's nice. I'll drop a link here in the chat. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. I've got to do a survey apparently. Cool, yeah. Thanks very much for watching. Go and back D36 if you haven't. I'm going to go to bed. Yeah. That's how I do a layout. And I hope that was useful for you. So thank you very much, and have a good one, whether it's day, night, morning, whatever you're doing. Thank you very much. Good night.